And thank you and welcome. Welcome members, club members, District 50 members, and hopefully we may eventually have some other people joining us. But tonight's leadership learning webinar is on using FreeToastHost, and let me give the correct title here. In all of my pages, FreeToastHost to create your club's website. That is FreeToastHost to create your club website. Thank you for attending our District 50 Leadership Learning webinar. Yes, this is the first November session, and we wanted to try to get these sessions in before you start your holiday festivities. I would like to introduce our presenters for today, and we have two dynamic presenters, not one, but two. Let's welcome past president of PMI Dallas Toastmasters, current Frontier Division Director, a member of Toastmasters since 2013, and that is none other than distinguished Toastmaster David Adams.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And another face that is so very familiar. Now, I failed to get his background information because he has done so many things. I'm going to allow him to say a couple of things about himself, but I would like to introduce you to Town North Division Director, man about District 50, Venkat, distinguished Toastmaster. Ron, tell us what clubs you're in and how long you've been in Toastmasters.
I am only, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am only a member of one club, which is Cruise Masters in the Plains Division. I have been in Toastmasters since 2018, but feels like I've been in Toastmasters since 2014 because some of you know my wife is also in Toastmasters, so it feels like I was a non-paying member for about 4 years, and then I eventually decided to take the jump and become one. And I got my DTM last year in 2021. And yeah, you already said I am the current Town North Division Director, so yes, that is true. That's it.
All right. Thank you both, Ron and David, for presenting this session for us tonight. Again, this is FreeToastHost for your club's website. And without further ado, you didn't come to hear me talk. You can't, oh, before I do that, it's always nice to introduce any of our District Senior 7 when they attend, if they're able to attend. And I know that Monday night is one of their busy nights, but we are graced by the attendance of our administrative manager, Yvonne Broach. Yvonne, she just waved. Would you like to say something to everyone?
Welcome everybody here, and I know we're going to hear some pearls of wisdom from these two very knowledgeable presenters.
Thank you, Yvonne. All right, let's get started. It's time to learn more about FreeToastHost. Gentlemen, take it away.
Well, good evening, everyone. And this is an interactive session, so we want to have some questions. And so both Ram, who is truly an expert at FreeToastHost, and I have a lot of experience, and I know there's some of you who will also have some sharings of best practices, because that's what it's all about. In Toastmasters, we like to collaborate how to do a better, faster, cheaper, so to speak. So what we want to cover today is a little bit of background. This digital marketing, what is it and why should we have a web page? What's it going to do for it? And then we're going to spend about 10 minutes on that at most. And then we're going to get directly into the FreeToastHost experience and demonstration. And Ram's going to take us and show us some really great ideas or things you can do and advantages, and then really talk about next steps, because you shouldn't have a TLI session without a call to action. Because whether you do not have a website, you should think about getting it and we can help you get there. Or if you do have a website, but you may want to add some things, that also is something we can help, because it doesn't matter which club, which area, which division you're in, we're all here to help each other. So let's talk a little bit about digital marketing. And by the way, there's some great information on LinkedIn, some of the training sessions, and I picked up some of this stuff that was great on digital marketing, FYI, and you can get a lot of those free through your local library. But your website is your home, it's the home, that's where everything goes. And people talk about, how can I recruit people? What are different areas? And having a website is essential to that, because you have to steer someone to where they need to go, to understand who you are, the awareness, the selling job, that is how to become a member. And then lastly, all the information regarding Toastmasters. And we've all seen, and many of you may have seen, we have a lot of clubs, and as well as the district itself, that advertises on LinkedIn, and they're able to attract new members. Likewise, I know some clubs who just all they do is meet in person. They're local, but they use Meetup. Another great advantage, how to get people to come to your club. And there's Pinterest, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, and there's also Google itself. It's a search engine, and there's something they called SEO, the search. Help me the acronym, Ram. It's search engine optimization, or
Yes.
is that correct? So what that does is, someone types in Toastmasters Frisco, it'll drive you, if you have the right setup in your website, to drive you to your website. So it's very important to have this. So you need this website, this www. Now we all know, or you may know, you can see advertisement. You can pay for different, like Squarespace or all these different websites, but we have an advantage in Toastmasters. You can get a free website and an address for your club. So it's advantageous, if it makes sense for you to take advantage of that. Because if you look at that, and this is kind of what they talk about in the website world, it's the platforms. Where do they exist? You may be on your computer, you may be on your laptop, or you may be on your phone. And not all website software is equal, but FreeToastHost performs equally as well on all three platforms. So what a great advantage. You can really say, if someone's just using their phone, or they're using their laptop, or their desktop, they can get the same information, and you can store a lot of information so people know where you are. So let's talk a bit about some of the criteria. There's a lot of information about websites. There's a home page and there's a landing page. What do I mean by that? A home page is where, and you'll see like on the left, that's typical of the FreeToastHost, what it may look like. But if you're advertising someone to come to an open house or a speech contest, or you don't want them to land on your home page, because they will get lost. There's something you need to do, is have a short, quick page that's a landing page, because you know what? We're all the same way. When you go on the web, if you don't see something within 2 to 6 seconds, you're going to go somewhere else. And so you got to capture that person's attention. Now, they're in Toastmasters, they may be able to do the click, click, click to get to it. But if they can get to it immediately and find out what you're advertising, what the event that you've got going, they will more likely stay than leave. But your homepage has a lot of advantage. And Ram will go into much more detail what it does, but there's two areas. There's basic and public information, which is information we want to attract for the general public. And then we have member-only information. And those are things behind the wall, a password. And you can have both members, and people are friends, you can have people who are guests, but they will get a special password to get into the website. And you may have on your external, like we have at our home club, and Jay Irwin, who's a member of my club, he's one that created an FAQ, a frequently asked questions, up on that page, and that gives you all the information. So can you imagine you get a new visitor to your club? Of course, your VP of membership will send a welcoming note, but also you want to do a steer to your web page. And if you have the FAQ, you know where you're located, when you meet, what type of club you are. You learn also about what the dues are, when, you know, all that pertinent information. You can even, as much information as little. You can even include PowerPoints. You can include all different information. And that's a lot of things you can do for free. Now let's talk about the custom web pages, which are linked to the home page. So it's a one off to the side. And if you have like a speech contest, you can have them land on that. They'll able to register, but then they can click to get to your home page. And you can have photos, you can have the social events. We just had Summit. You can have all that information tied to it. You can talk about your documents, roles and descriptions. It's so important because especially with new people, what are the duty holders' roles? You can post that on that so they know. And it's a place you can park something for free. We do have Google Drives and Docs and things like that, but this is a great place for a club to park what it is. And you can put things like dashboards. This is the compelling area where less is more. You can put testimonies, reviews. It's like selling. Any comments or questions at this point?
We did have a question in the chat from Yvonne. Are club websites allowed to use any colors, or do they have to use TMI brand colors?
Ron, I don't know. Do you know anything about that as far as the?
I think that's one of the beauties of using FreeToastHost. You don't have to worry about that. At least the overall framework is already Toastmasters compliant, brand compliant, and so you have the blues and the yellows and all those colors already there. And we'll get more detail into what the content is and all that. But within that, they give you some kind of a content creation freedom, if I may. And there you're supposed to be Toastmaster compliant. Well, let's face it, everything that we do, and when we call ourselves Toastmasters, whatever, we are supposed to be brand compliant. Are we? No, but we are supposed to be like that. I don't know if that answers your question, but at least the overall framework is brand compliant. It is brand compliant for you by design.
Now, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
apologize. She did add that she had taken over a site that was orange all over.
Oh,
Ew.
Yep.
orange all over, like University of Texas orange or University of Tennessee.
You're on mute, Yuan.
she knows I'm
It
kidding.
must be Tennessee because it's, anyway,
Not burnt orange.
it's nowhere in the TI branding materials.
I think it's just easier because the pages and the things that are available, and Ron will get into more detail. The colors are there, and it just makes sense to do that. Now, what I would caution all of you, like any kind of web page, whether it be the homepage or the landing page, you need to refresh it. You need to change it. So if you put pictures of Zoom pictures, change that out every now and then. Change some of the text. Change it where it makes interesting, where a compelling reason why people would want to go look at that. Now, obviously, and Ron will get into more detail, we use it for our home club for where we sign up for roles for each meeting. We actually put all our meetings for a year in there. So we have every month's meetings with all the themes and the word of the days already located in the FreeToastHost. And so if there's no speeches available, like Jay was telling me that our next meeting on the Saturday, the 19th, we have 2-hour meetings, by the way. All 5 roles are filled for speakers. Well, then you go into December, you can sign up, or into January. So you can actually plan out what you can do. This is what allows you to do that flexibility. and take the advantage of what all the things you can do. Are there more comments or questions? I'm not seeing the chat.
Yes, sir. There is a comment from Aubrey Paul that he would like some assistance to upgrade Hallelujah High's website.
Okay, we got that. We'll mark that down. Well, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my esteemed colleague, Ram, who's actually going to be able to get into some of the details and actually show you what is going on here and what it looks like. I think, how many have FreeToastHost now? I think most people have. Okay. So no one has does anyone have no website? Okay. All right, Ron.
Thank you, David, for that good introduction about why we need a website. I wanted to just add that websites matter more for community clubs. I belong to a community club. If you belong to a community club, obviously it has more value. That is not to say that a corporate club does not have any value for a website. I mean, sometimes you may want to host something within your organization. If you are a closed corporate club, if you are an open corporate club, you may take advantage from the FreeToastHost website. If you are a closed corporate club, I don't know exactly what you will do with the public-facing FreeToastHost. I mean, it may cause more confusion, or you may just want to claim that website and say that, hey, we are a closed corporate site. Use that to create awareness about Toastmasters, but obviously you are not going to gain members, at least from the public, by having a website per se. So that's one thing that I do want to mention. But everything else that David said, if you are definitely it works great for a community club. If you meet someone, you end up talking about Toastmasters and you do your 30-second elevator pitch. You're not carrying around business cards for Toastmasters, and you could just, send a link to your FreeToastHost site. I mean, that has everything in it. It has everything that is there to know about Toastmasters, about your club, what you have achieved, brag about your club. Obviously, the contact information, everything is in there. It is a one-stop shop for people to go and check out your club. So that is the big advantage of having a FreeToastHost website. I thought of one more point when David was talking about it, but I forgot now, and I should have made a note, which I didn't. So we will, when I remember, I'll mention it. Okay. It looks like most of the people in this group at least already have a FreeToastHost website. I don't know how much you are using it. You can use it. You can use the basic functionalities of it, and you can use advanced functionalities of it. What you want to do is really your choice. I would say that the moment a club charters, one of the first things that you have to do, in my opinion, most of the clubs, you want to start strong. If you have chartered a club, obviously you have 20 people, but within what I have observed is within the first renewal cycle, attrition starts. So you have to go to your first renewal cycle strong with all the tools that are in your arsenal ready to use, because you will lose some. That is a part of life. You will have attrition. You will lose, I don't know, 5 members. If you lose only 5, great. You will lose 5 members out of 20, but you want to keep gaining those members. So that constantly happens with every Toastmasters clubs. So you want to make sure that you have all the right tools in your kitty when you go to the first renewal cycle, which is it's kind of a scary thing, facing the first renewal cycle when you are a brand new club, because you don't know what is going to happen at that time. So FreeToastHost is obviously free. Looks like there is a question from Cecile. Go ahead, Cecile.
Thank you, Ram. So I know you mentioned quite a few persons may already have the FreeToastHost, but I'm wondering if you could take it from the beginning for those who
I will.
The club, right? Okay. So the
I
club may
absolutely will.
have, but I have no experience. So I want to kind
Yeah,
of get the full
I
value. Thank you so much.
I absolutely am going to. I'm
Great.
absolutely going to do that. So Free Toast Toast is free. It is a service that is offered by Toastmasters, I think, since 2004 or something like that. I think they started offering it at a very rudimentary basis from a very long time. Now we are at version 3, release 3 of Free Toast Toast, which was done in 2018. So it's a pretty comprehensive product and also pretty robust, I would say, unlike the bookstore. Remove that from the recording, Naomi. So it is a pretty robust product, is what I have observed, and we use Free Toast Toast pretty comprehensively. I have not heard people complain about it. So the first thing you ought to do, let me share my screen here. Let me know if you can see my screen.
We can.
All right. First thing you ought to do is apply, forget this, apply for a Free Toast Host site for your club. Let's say you're a brand new club or you're a club in existence, but you have not claimed your Free Toast Host site. First thing you would do is, okay, now I want to claim my site. So you would go to toastmastersclubs.org. This is all you need. I'm going to copy paste that into the chat. Give me just a second. So you would go here, and any one of you, and it really depends upon how your club is structured. In our club, I was the sergeant at arms when we claimed ownership of this. That is because I was most interested in things like that. I would say maybe your club VP of PR, in theory, should be the one responsible for this, but anyone could really do this. If you're a corporate club, I would say give it to one of your interns. Make this a weekend project for one of your interns, and they would really gain a lot by learning how to do this. Anybody in the club, or if you have a web person, you don't have to be a developer or you just have to be a little computer savvy. I think almost all of us are, or at least have to be now. So first you do is claim your website. So you go into toastmastersclub.org, and all you have to do is put in, if you're a chartered club, you say district number, which is 50 in our case, your club number, and hopefully everyone knows what their club number is, or look up your club on toastmasters.org, and you will know what your club number is, or just ask someone what your club number is. Put your club number in, your name, which is your name, and then your email address. Use an email address which is also your email address that you are using for your toastmasters.org login, because that's how they verify you. And that's it. And then all you do is click this and then submit your request. And then within about, I don't know, I mean, now everything takes too much time. I applied for our club website like 3 years back, and within like a couple of days, our club website was set up. And they send you instructions with a link to your club website, and that's it. You have your club website already. It is a very basic website. It will have a format of your club number .toastmastersclubs.org. That will be the format of that will be the URL for your club website. Club number.toastmastersclubs.org. Clubs, plural. Toastmastersclubs.org is the domain name for Free Toast Host, so you cannot change that. But you can definitely change the club number to your club name. If you look at ours, that's how ours is set up, and I'll show you exactly where to do that. And this is that URL is what you would publicize in your Facebook page, or in your meetup, or you meet people, or if you have a club business card, that's what you will publish. That is your external facing website for your club. Now, what do you do? What do you do when you have to, I wish I could let me go here. So if you look, another thing that you can do is go to your quick start guide. And I want to show you how a very basic website looks like. So you can read this. It has a lot of links. Don't get intimidated by this. You don't have to read everything that is in there. So it says use the form here, which is what I showed you earlier. And then once your request has been approved via email, the website is immediately live. Like I said, your club website is already live. It has no information. It has some generic information about Toastmasters, and it'll follow this format, https://clubnumber.toastmastersclubs.org. Even a district can claim its website through FreeToastHost. I don't know if District 50 has claimed that. Maybe Ivan knows. So something that we probably need to look into. I don't know if we are paying someone for a hosting service for our district website. If so, how much we are paying, I don't know, but it's something that we can look at to see, hey, if they're offering something for free, why not use that? Anyway, another discussion for another day. And then and there are instructions if you want to get too much detail into the content editor and all that. And I'm going to say you don't have to do all of that. What I was going to do is look, there is a sample website here somewhere. Let's see. I'm sorry, I can't locate that. So forget that. Oh, see a club sample website. This is very rudimentary. This is how it's going to look like when your club website is created, where you haven't done any update. It's going to have some basic generic information here. All this information is going to be there already. Toastmasters videos, public downloads. That's the beauty of Toastmasters, the free ToastHost website, is that all this information is already available for you. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, putting links and documents and videos and why join Toastmasters and blah, blah, blah. None of that you have to do. It's all done for you. You don't even have to worry about it. Okay. And this is a question that Yvonne asked earlier about the brand compliance. As you can see, this is already brand compliant. This, this is Toastmaster Blue, our Toastmaster fonts, and this framework that Toastmasters uses. This is already brand compliant as it stands. The free website is already brand compliant. Where individual clubs not become brand compliant is when they start messing around with it. Like right now, this blue, not brand compliant. So that you see over here. So I have never seen a situation where it is audited and somebody comes back to you and says, no, yours is not brand compliant. I've never ever heard that. And some of you have been in Toastmasters way more than I have. So please feel free to chime in if you have seen that happen ever. I have seen district websites that are completely not brand compliant, including District 50. So, I've never seen anyone come back and, ding you about that. So again, back to that. So you will get a website like this, and now is the time to go to work. What you will also get is a admin login and an admin password. So that is what you use, and give that admin login and password to whoever is the most tech savvy or interested in doing this in your club, and give them some time to set this up. What they would do is they will go to the club, which is you only have number.toastmastersclubs.org, and then you would log in to the club website. The admin is always the club number and then a password. Give me just 1 second. I have to pull it from my password manager. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm logged in. Can everyone see that I'm logged in? You know that you're logged in when it says log out. So there are two types of logins, right? There is an admin login and then there is a member login. But right now, let's say we are setting up this club's website and there's only you as the admin. So all you have is an admin login. Now you have to start setting things up. Now all this is blank. Just imagine none of this information is in there. Now in the club website, you have a main menu, which is what is for everybody to use. So you have home, meeting information, contact, and I'll get into details of all of that. Club calendar, public downloads, free resources. And then David mentioned this, you can add your own links. If your club has, other links that you want to add, like our club, for example, we have added a link to our DCP progress. Where is that? That goes directly to our toastmasters.org DCP progress site, right? And we have also added a link to our Google Photos page. This is where, all photos that we take. This is an important thing, I think. People, when they want to join your club, when you're wooing people to join your club, they want to know how it looks like. How it looks like when, this were the good old days prior to COVID, when we used to see people in person, in the flesh. So that's so you want to show you want to demonstrate as much information as possible, so that if I am a prospective member, I can envision myself coming to your club, speaking, receiving ribbons, contests, awards, fun that you have, and then speech contests that your club attends. And I mean, it'll take time as clubs grow. You will have more photographs to show, and it doesn't have to be a Google site. Whatever it is, Shutterfly, whatever it is that your club photos are, use that. If there is anything else that your club does, do that. Again, all these are, you don't have to do all of this, but the basics you want to do. And how do you do that? The first thing you do is launch admin console. And before I go there, I want to stop if there is any question. I cannot see everyone, so that's the reason. If you raise your hands, I may not know. Okay, looks like there are no questions. So, Ivan.
So you put your club photos in Google, in a Google
Yep.
folder, instead of putting them on a gallery page here?
Yeah, because the Google, there's no one way to do it. I mean, the Google Photos allows us to put, 100 photos. We didn't want to put 100 photos here. And the second reason is every time you want to add a new photo, if you put everything here, every time you want to add a new photo, you have to rework the framework. But if you put it in Google Photos, you can just keep adding whatever you want, and all you're doing is a link over here. So that's the reason. It's laziness is partly the reason, because Google Photos, you can just dump whatever you want in there, and you can have X number of them in there. But yes, I have seen other clubs have a lot of pictures here. And I want to give another big disclaimer here. The website that my club uses is no way the best. It's no way even the 50th best in District 50, I would say. I have seen a lot of clubs do really good things with the website. Because I'm teaching this class doesn't mean that we have the best website. No, not at all. There's a lot of it is something, and David mentioned this in his prologue, is that the problem with maintaining any website is that to keep it current. This photograph is like 3 years old. We have a lot more ribbons than what shows up here, and that's a big no-no. You should update these kind of things, and we haven't done that. A lot of these people are not members anymore, but we have not had a better photograph. Why? Because we haven't met 5 people like this in person for a long time. So it's like 2.5 years old. David.
There's a question in the chat. Says, is Google Photos the same as Google Drive? And
no, Google Photos eventually resides in Google Drive, but Google Photos is a optimized, I don't want to say it's photo editing, even though it offers you, it's a photo repository,
Let-
and it's optimized for photos.
Let me make a comment. So when you set this up for your club, you should create a new Gmail address just for this.
Absolutely.
Therefore, you get 15 gigabytes of space. So as opposed to trying to do your own or that, so you can create as many Gmail addresses as you want. In fact, if when you venture on and let's say create your own YouTube channel, you may want to create that also, which could be linked to this homepage.
Yeah. I would strongly suggest that every club create their own Gmail address. And then another reason why you want to do that is you don't want to have your email address be the contact address for the club. You're not hopefully going to be the VP of PR for the rest of your life.
And you can pass that along, the ownership.
Pass that along. Yeah, pass that along to anybody else who will take over after the next 6 months. So you want to have your, like, yeah, we absolutely do. We have a Gmail called cruisemastersplano@gmail.com, and that email address gets passed around to whoever is the next who inherits that. And yes, so when you create your own Gmail account, the photos part comes with it. So it's not like dumping your photos as a file into a Google Drive. You want to actually go to Google Photos and put it in there, which keeps it organized. You can have albums. Yeah, it is organized. You can have albums. You can have little folders. You can do a little bit of editing. You can give direct links. You can share it from there. So you want to use Google Photo. It's a free service. So 15 gigs gets you a lot of pictures.
And that's
a lot
another
of them.
TLI session, by the way.
I'm sorry?
That'd be another TLI session right there.
Yeah. Yes.
Aubrey has a question, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to look at it. Club Gmail address is now required for bookstore accounts. Oh, okay. That is a good point. So you do need it. Aubrey, what was your question?
Oh, my question is, we store documents like meeting minutes, etc. The question is, I don't think that you can Google and FreeToast as an interface. I don't think so. So basically, you store the minutes on your laptop, for example. So if someone else wants the minutes, I don't know how they get them. They could click on it, and if you have a shared drive and so forth, then you get it. Any suggestions about that?
So what we do is, our club has, like I said, a Gmail address. So we store our minutes in a folder in our Google Drive, and we provide a link over here in the members only section for anybody to go in and check it out. So that's one thing that we have done.
But you can also put it on FreeToastHost.
You can directly.
So you can put
because we didn't adopt FreeToastHost until after about a year. That's why we did it this way. But yes, that's the reason why the lesson learned for me is that if you are a new club, do it right away. Set it up right away so that you don't have to eventually make that transition to FreeToastHost from whatever it is that you were doing. It took us a long time to transition over to FreeToastHost. I'm going to go a little faster because we are at 7:40. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is launch your admin console. And you launch it. So now you're going to start setting up your basic website. So when you launch your admin console, this is where you're going to set up all your information. So if you look at it, there is a select a module. Let me see if I can make it. Oh, I'm already there. Now, you don't have to do all of this, but the bare minimum you should do is your website settings. That is what the default is. And as you can see, there's plenty of tabs in there. So the basic settings, obviously, it is very simple. I'm not going to go through each of these fields because it is extremely user friendly. Club name, description, and then keywords. And keywords is where eventually feeds into the SEO that David talked about. So you want to give a nice description. You want to use some keywords as to what what kind of words people are looking for, and your club comes up. So you want to talk about Plano, I mean, not Plano, wherever your club is located. Not every club is located in Plano, obviously. Toastmasters, public speaking, Dallas, leadership speeches, confidence, anything that you can think of. um, some clubs have a certain theme to it. We had a club that was formed for aspiring book writers, if aspiring authors rather. If that is what your club is, then do that. And it's a meta tag, and as you can see, for each of these fields, FreeToastHost gives you information and help, prompts you what you want to write there. And here's where your website alias comes in. Now, generally, you would have a club number.toastmastersclubs.org. You want to definitely change that to whatever your club name. This will be, and now either the club number.toastmasters.org, toastmastersclubs.org works, and this will also work. So you want to use that. Now, there is a way you can have custom domains. If you want to say club name .org or something like that. There is a way to do it, and I'm not going to go into that because there is a instructions for setting up custom website domain. But I would say don't do any of that. All that costs money. You don't want to do you don't want to do any of that. Just the basic itself is really, really good. So you start again. Now, here's your banner on the top, and it gives you some basic editing functions: bold, italics, underline, indent, outdent, all those kind of things. And this is really your creativity. Again, the idea is that you have to be brand compliant. This is not, but again, not going to harp on that. But I would say it's better to set something up now than try to understand, let me understand what Toastmasters brand standards are. You'll never get anything done. So get started now would be my suggestion. And then all these things you can change if you want, but I would not change. I wouldn't change any of these. I would just reset these colors to default. Sometimes I feel in FreeToastHost there's just too much of customization options. And I don't think it is required unless someone has too much time in their hands and every little piece of it you want to customize. You can leave all that alone. You can leave all that customization alone. There's really no need to get into how much the text size has to be adjusted and this and that. I mean, you can go crazy. It is just too much, if you ask me. Um, I've maintained websites and worked on websites as part of my job, and I've seen custom website editors not have this much of options to customize it. It's just too much. And then these are all the menu links that you will have, and you can say, if you do not want a certain link to show up, like club calendar, let's say you don't want that to be available for public, then you can just click on it and it will not show up. So there is a lot of options. Again, I'm not going to go into each of these options. And then here's your home page. This is where your basic information is going to go. Your main heading, and then your content. Now here, we just did a very basic, photo of people in the club, and then you want to do something that is catches people's eyes, right? I mean, you want to brag about your biggest achievement in your club. So what is my club's biggest achievement? Presidents distinguished in the last year. So, well, there goes that. So you put that in, you give some information about what is it that the biggest selling point for your club. You document that in here. And we always say one of the top performing clubs in District 50. Well, obviously, this is not updated because we do not have 210 clubs and 7,000 plus members. It's actually memberships, not members. And we achieved President's Distinguished status for 4 consecutive years since inception. And again, the challenge is you want to keep updating this, right? And you don't want to achieve President's Distinguished for 10 years in a row and not update this. And it's still going to say, well, after 4 years, what happened? So you have to keep updating that. So your VP of PR, maybe put it in their list of to-dos that the moment you become VP of PR, within the first month, update the club's website, or update it once every quarter. You cannot update it every week, but update once every quarter, something like that. You have to have that deliverable. And when you have your officers meeting, make that a deliverable for your VP of PR to say, hey, I did my Q2 updates for the club website, refreshed everything. Are we following that? Absolutely not. Should we follow that? Absolutely yes. So this is where your club information goes in. Try not more pictures than words is what I would suggest. Basically, don't you don't want to be too verbose. Again, this is not a best example, but if you look at some of the websites that I have seen, they do an amazing job. And this is not that great, actually, I would say. Next thing you want to do is provide information about when your club is meeting. Again, you want to make sure that you have your meeting schedule in there. Where are you meeting? Those kind of things. You can provide a Google link directly, which is what we have done, and you can format it n number of ways. That's one thing that you have here. And then all your clubs' social links. You have a Facebook page, put it in there. If you have a Twitter link, put it in there. If you have a YouTube, Flickr, Google Plus, which ceased to exist like, I don't know, 8 years back, put it in there. If you have a meetup, oh, that's good. Put it in there. I'm glad it has a LinkedIn. It does not have an Instagram. I don't know if many clubs have Instagram. Probably do. Many of the college Toastmasters clubs probably has Instagram, and that's where they are going to get their members, and they should put that in there. Other social networking sites, and then you have a floater message that floater message is something that that keeps floating on the top. So if you are canceling the next week's meeting, or if your next week's meeting is a special one, or if you're having a holiday get together instead of a meeting, you can put all that kind of information in there. Temporary floater messages. And then access settings. Now, what this is that which officers can do what is what this is. I am looking at the time. We have 10 minutes. Which officers can do what is what this is. So this says which officers can access website. Okay, first thing, anybody with a admin login and password can do everything. They have godlike access to the club's website. But you don't want to share that with all the officers. One person holds on to the admin, but you want to give certain rights to certain people. Now you can say that who can access membership management? Obviously the VPE, obviously the VPM, and then the VPE and the secretary. And you can manage these over here. Who is allowed to access the file manager, president, secretary, and this depends upon your club. In our club, you will note that the SAA has pretty much everything, because that is me. I maintain this website, so I am the one who has access to pretty much everything in the club. Your club may not be like that, so you have to think about who will do what in my club, kind of thing. And then administrator info. Who is the administrator? What's the administrator's email? And as you can see, we have a website here. And then there is statistics. It's not the statistics itself, but do you want to enable the statistics, right? How many visitors to your club? When does the counter reset? Those kind of things is what you have in here. And these are people who you can contact. I don't know if there's a forum for FreeToastHost, and you can use that to ask questions. There's plenty of information out there. Like anything in Toastmasters, there is plenty of information out there that you can use to get help. Now, once you do this, the good thing is once you click on save, it's immediately live. So whatever you can see, if you design your club's homepage in a certain way, and let's say you didn't like it, you want to change the photo, or you want to change the, or you made a mistake, you have a typo or whatever, you want to fix it, you can do it right away, and it reflects right away. The moment you hit close, boom, it'll show here. You may have to refresh your page, or it automatically refreshes, and you will see that reflected here. So it is immediate. Hi, David.
Yeah, in the interest of time, can you maybe show some of the features, like what a member would see, and maybe where they sign up for a meeting or something like that?
Yeah, I'm going to go through two things. I'm going to launch the admin console. Second thing you want to do is to do membership management. I generally cover the setup until the membership management. We don't get into the agenda management, because that is a 1 hour topic just by itself. Managing agendas. Membership management is something that you want to start. This will take time. If your club has already been in existence for some time and now you want to start membership management, it's going to be a little difficult to get everybody on transitioning from one thing to another. But when you start it this way, it is easier. Now, membership management, what you do is you add people here. You just put their name, their email address, name space email address space phone. And phone is optional. That's all you need to do. And then you add members here. And then as you have your members, you can just say what roles they play in your club. You can put their education levels in here, their email address, and this is how this is kind of the master data for your club in terms of who are your club members and what officer roles they play. And you can say this person is president, and you have, as you can see, you have the usual 7 officers plus the immediate past president, and you can have other officers. Some clubs have a mentor chair. Some clubs have a webmaster who they consider as an officer. It all depends upon what your club is. And the reason why all those are there is because you can send emails to all officers in the club, which is actually a group. It's a distribution group. So there is a lot of features which we unfortunately don't have time to get into. But I would say, as a bare minimum, set up the club website, the one that I told you earlier. And next step, do the membership. And you can see prospects. We are not doing a good job of maintaining prospects. Guests, if a club attends, if someone attends your meeting as a guest, you can put their name in here, and you should. Why? Because if you want to send an email to all guests, you can just send to guests@toastmastersclubs.org, and it goes to them. Yes, David.
Jay Irwin has a question.
Whenever you
Oh.
add somebody, they do have to go in. They do have to go
Sorry.
in and accept. Do what?
Oh, no. I was looking at the chat for your question. I'm sorry. I couldn't see you. Now I can see you. Go ahead, Jay.
Whenever you add somebody to the website, it does send them an automated email that they have to accept within 30 days.
Right.
I would recommend sending them a email letting them know that you did that, so that that email does not get lost in their spam.
Yeah, it is an opt-in. They have to opt in. Yeah, that's another thing that I think it's some kind of a industry standard. So yes, if you just add somebody, thank you for that tip, Day. If you add somebody to FreeToastHost, it doesn't automatically mean that they're going to start getting spam. They have to explicitly go and say, yes, I am okay to get emails from this particular club. So they have to opt in. So if you add a member, until they opt in, their name will show up with a giant, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Strike through.
Strike through. Thank you. I couldn't get that word. Strike through. So you'll have a strike through until they actually accept it. And the name will disappear if they don't accept it within like 30 days or something like that. And then if members leave, which regrettably happens, as you can see, all these members left, you can move them to former members. Why? Because you don't want to lose track of them, right? When members leave, you want to be able to bring them back at some point of time. Friends and affiliates is, I would say, if you have a benefactor for your club, like your senior vice president of your company is the benefactor of your club, but they are not a club member. If you have an open house, you want to invite them, put their name in there because they are friends of your club. And here is a new member welcome, and this is actually a template of how your new members are welcomed. And you can set up custom groups for your club. Again, not going to go into that, but this is how people are maintained. So basic club website, step 1, people in your club. Step 2, agendas. Step 3, which we will cover in a different class. I'm going to close this and show quickly how things look like. So if you are, this is what the public sees. Meet our members. As each member comes in, they can decide to have their photograph and talk about themselves. And this is publicly available, right? So you want prospective members to go in and say, "Oh, let me see what Deepa says about why she's in Toastmasters. Let me see what Ram says as to why he's in Toastmasters." Again, this is not a must. Not every member has to do this. As you can see, only like 4 people in my club has this data. And if a member leaves the club, automatically this is taken out. And then free resources. Again, everything links back to toastmasters.org. You don't have to maintain this. This is already maintained for you. Members, once you are a member, you get these kind of things. You can sign up for a quick. I'm not logged in as a member, which is why this is not enabled for me. You can request a mentor using this request form. It's a little informal. I mean, none of clubs are just 15, 20 people. I would say if you want a mentor, talk to your VPE, not go through a form. We are not a big 1,000 people corporate. The less these kind of formality, the less red tape we have in our club, the better it is, in my opinion. Sometimes you should just go speak to your VPE. You can edit your profile. Again, if you are a member, as you can see, I'm not logged in as a member. You can edit your profile. That's where you would say, "Hey, I want to make my profile public. Here's my picture." And you can make your profile public. Again, not required. And members can have their own downloads. Like, for example, if our club has a welcome to Cruise Masters document, you put those kind of things in here. So once you log in as a member, you can see all that kind of data. So that's what it looks like when you are a member. And if you log out as a site admin, this is how it looks like for John Q Public. If they look at your website, this is exactly how it's going to look like. We have 1 minute for questions. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop sharing. Any questions?
I
Yeah,
would
I
like
see.
I would like to say that there is a feedback form in the chat. Please be sure to do the feedback. And we have a hand raised from Mary Oloyefi.
Yes, ma'am.
Mary O.
Yes, ma'am. That's all right. You did all right. My question is, when are you going to bring us back to do the agenda stuff? Because I'm confused, Rom.
About the agendas?
Yeah, you said that would be a whole nother thing. Is it
Yeah.
possible that you guys can come back and do that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as long as Naomi can pay my hourly rate and David's,
I think
which is
the
a big
call to action
$0.
I think the call to action is if you have questions like you, Mary, and you want to see agenda, we can arrange some one-on-one. I think Aubrey has some questions too, so we're available. I'm think Naomi, if there's a general interest, we would love to come back.
Yeah.
And provide additional training to the group. But if they're just a one-off, we'll be glad to help out and just show you some examples. And again, what Ram and I do it's just middle of the road, but it's sometimes middle of the road is pretty good. And there's, like, for instance, Unique Toastmasters, Shane Gilmore is on it. His club got the got the Free Toast Host of the Year just recently announced it at the summit.
Yeah, baby. That's what's up.
Hey, what? Hey, Shane,
Yeah,
could you
of
post
the
your
year.
club's website in here
Yeah,
in the
can
chat?
you put the link in your Free Toast Host so people can see in the chat?
And we do have,
Absolutely. I'm on my
yeah.
phone. Let me see if I can do it from my phone.
okay. Shane
Or
is going
Yvonne,
to
can you
post
handle
his
that?
club's website. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shane.
No, I'm done. I'm just rambling my mouth.
No, you're good because your club made toast the Free Toast Host site of the year quarter, which is a great job, and it's a great accommodation for that club. But we do have 2 questions in the chat. The first was from
Okay.
Aubrey Paul, and the second was from Cecile.
Okay, just to add to what was said earlier, there are 2 ways in which you can sign up in the agenda. One is called quick roll sign up, right? And the other one is just the regular way or the old time way. So please note that quick roll sign up as well as the regular sign up.
Right. Again, I didn't go into agendas this time. When we started offering Free Toast Host classes, and I was the one who started teaching it like a year back, we covered everything in 1 hour, and it was just too much. So I decided to split it into 2 and do the basics, and then we called it an advanced Free Toast Host class, and that's where we did the agendas and the dues management and those kind of things. But I think it's still not enough. I mean, it is that vast of a topic. And today, I don't know, I think I had to hurry up a little bit towards the end. But setting up the basic website is what I really wanted to cover this time in this session. I would say that plus having all your members in there with the roles that they have in your club, what officer or no officer or whatever it is, contact information, that is a prerequisite before we get into agendas. Because now you have to start setting up templates for your agendas and start setting up groups. I mean, there's all those kind of things, but you can always do that later. But I would say that, yes, definitely we can have another session for doing agendas. No issues at all. And every time I have that session, I always learn a thing or two about agendas, because
Well
even
as,
though my club uses it, I'm not a full-blown expert.
yeah, as well as the website administrator, you can sign up people for the various roles. You have that ability.
Right. We'll cover all that during the second session when we have that. Any other questions? We are 4 minutes past.
Got a hand raised for Cecile.
One more hand, and that was from Cecile.
Thank you.
Yes, Cecile.
And that's what I wanted to find out, when we would have this next session, and if there are any prerequisites before we get to that next session. I think you kind of touched on it, Ram. Get the members in first and listed on the site. But I would want to say, we could raise our hands for those who are interested in another session for agendas, because I think that's a critical area for us as well.
Yeah, I'll work with Naomi to see when we can organize that. I see a bunch of people raising hands. It'll become easier to follow. I would say the one takeaway for everyone, if you haven't already done, is to go claim your website. I mean, it takes 2 minutes to claim that. Fill that form in, send it in. I don't know how long it takes now, but yeah, just claim that now, and then then set aside a couple of hours to maybe half a day to work on it, to work on the basic website, put some pictures and put some thought process in, and then update that. A membership will take time, adding the members, because like someone mentioned earlier, it's not just adding the people. Now they have to accept it, and if you add 20 people, 3 of them are going to accept it, and then you have to send 15 follow-up emails and phone calls to the other 17 so that they accept it. Only when everybody accepts it, it becomes useful, right? I mean, if only 50% of your club members have opted in, what's the point? You cannot have your agendas. You have to have everybody. That is the worst part. It took us, we started doing FTH about a year after our club was formed. We had 30 members at that time, good old days, added 30 people. It took almost 4 months to get all 30 people to opt in. It's difficult. People just do not do it. I mean, you can't go to somebody's house and log into their computer and just say, click this button so that you're opted in. It's just impossible these days. So,
Or
Okay, we have a final question from Aubrey. Oh, and he just
yes, Aubrey.
received a phone call.
can I share Shane's can I share his website?
Oh,
His
yes.
little- Can I do that? Okay.
Here
it's kinda
comes, he's
neat.
going to respond.
Okay, let's see here.
No, 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 you can't. It's like, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
That's his website here.
That sharing is the whole reason why his website exists.
No,
Isn't
well,
that
no,
awesome?
hold on. I didn't object to sharing it. What I objected to is not my website. It's Unique's website. So you can
I didn't
share.
know that.
So
I
you
thought
can
this
share
was yours.
No, you can share Unique's website, but
Oh, I
yeah.
thought this was your website. Oh,
No,
sorry.
it's my club's website.
Oh, well, that's what I meant. Look at all
Yeah, I
these
know,
pictures.
but
My
I got to
goodness.
give credit where credit's due.
This is awesome. You have a lot of,
That's why he got
yeah,
the best.
yeah.
I put in the chat, I created a YouTube video, how to use our website and some of the features. So that's another 5 to 10 minute video. You can watch the YouTube video that we created.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So if you follow that link, that will also it's a little bit dated. It's a couple of years old, but it covers the basics of what even more simple than Ron talked about. So follow that YouTube site.
Very good.
I'll check it out, David. I haven't seen that. And I really like Unique's website because it, first look itself, I can see people participating, winning awards and ribbons. And that's what you want to publicize. That's what you want prospective members to come in and say, hey, I can be part of this. A lot of pictures, not many words. That's how you want it.
Okay. All right. The final question that came from Aubrey is, what is the possible dates to schedule Hallelujah High website? And I'm guessing, Aubrey, is that a question that you wanted the one-on-one with David and Ron to help you review their site? Yes.
Aubrey, could you send me the link for your website?
Yes, I can, no problem.
I'm sharing my email here. Send me you can email me the link for your website. I'll take a look at it and maybe we'll have an email conversation.
No problem.
And then we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you. I know we went over just a few minutes. It's FreeToastHost. It has a lot of information and it has a lot of tools, but they are extremely useful for you and your website. And just as Ram shared, the more that you work with it, the more things that will pop out that either you didn't know or you could have used even more. I want to thank you all for attending tonight's Leadership Learning webinar. Yes, we will be happy, more than happy, to schedule a second session that will only cover agendas. Okay? So more than likely, you may want to make sure that you have your screens open when we do that. And with this session going over, we might want to consider making the next session on agendas an hour and a half, if you're willing, but we will do that. I will coordinate with David and Ram on scheduling that. Be sure to complete the feedback form. because that's equally important. We want to make sure that we get feedback on what it is that we're doing. The gentlemen get feedback on how they did tonight. I want to thank you all for attending tonight's session. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And guess what? We do have a session coming up on Thursday for the DTM mentor. So I hope to see you again real soon. Good night, everybody. Great job, Vince.
Thank you for the great
Thank you.
information.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Save the chat. Okay, very good. Let me know when you get everything, Aubrey.
I just send the website to Ram.
Okay, excellent. All right. Well, you have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Thank you.
All right. Did you download the chat? Did you need anything from there?
No, I'm all right there.
Okay. All right.
I guess I'm fortunate that I am the website admin.